It's a massive mistake to think consistency means repeating the same intensity day after day. Too often, we try to preserve intensity instead of preserving continuity. The result is completely predictable. Periods of massive overperformance followed by a total collapse. Real consistency works differently. It's preserved through adaptive scope, not fixed intensity. The person who stays consistent is not the person who always performs at their best. It's the person who keeps the practice alive under changing conditions. When energy, time, or stress shift, the scope of the effort shifts with them. As a result, the practice remains. Hey there, it's me, Core, and you're listening to Exercising Consistency, from fitness to flourishing. This is not a practical tip about habit design. The deeper aim is consistency between who you currently are and the person you aspire to be. We are aiming to exercise virtuous self-control, the practiced skill of acting in accordance with your personal standard of excellence in the moment of choice. That standard is not fixed. You set a reachable standard and commit to it for 84 days. You live it. You practice. At the end, you evaluate honestly. What worked? What didn't work? What do I need to adapt? Sometimes the next 84-day commitment stays exactly the same because you still need depth and stability. Other times it rises because you have risen. Perfection is not the goal. Perfection is an illusion. It leads to frustration, procrastination, and quitting. Excellence encourages effort, emphasizes continuous growth, and values mistakes as opportunities for learning. A beginner imagines consistency as a straight line. They think disciplined people operate at high intensity every day. They see the finished product, the productive day, the public result. They do not see the invisible adjustments that made continuity possible. The experienced person knows that high performers reduce scope constantly. They shorten the workout. They lower the load. They preserve the ritual while scaling the demand. This feels wrong to the beginner because they associate reduced intensity with failure. In reality, adaptation is what prevents collapse. The alternative is the all or nothing cycle. You demand maximum effort from yourself for days or weeks, then fatigue accumulates, stress rises, the standard suddenly feels impossible, so the practice disappears entirely because your system had no flexibility. Rigid systems break. Adaptive systems survive. Life is not always smooth. Energy is not stable. Expecting the same output every day is one of the fastest ways to break a good streak. In the ACT Score Challenge, we use a simple scale with 4 levels: crawl, walk, run, and fly. Crawl is for the days where everything seems to be stacked against you. The win is still movement. A 5-minute walk instead of a 45-minute run. 1 paragraph instead of writing 3 pages. You keep it doable even on your worst day. Walk is the steady mode. Doable on a typical day. Not heroic, just consistent. Run is your personal level of excellence. You are pushing and operating at the standard you set for yourself. Fly is rare and cannot be forced. It's flow state, when preparation meets the right moment. The minimal standard performed consistently outperforms the perfect version performed intermittently. A writer who writes 1 paragraph protects continuity better than one who waits for inspiration. A lifter who does a lighter session maintains momentum better than one who disappears for a week. The inexperienced mind calls this doing less. The experienced mind calls it protecting the chain. You can understand this in 5 minutes and still fail to apply it for years, because reducing scope feels like laziness. It feels like lowering the bar. Only repeated experience teaches the deeper lesson. Consistency matters more than intensity. Consistency then stops being an act of force and becomes an act of regulation. You stop asking how to operate at maximum capacity every day. You start asking how to keep the behavior alive under all conditions. That question changes your perspective. The people who appear most disciplined are not the ones exerting the most force. They're the ones who learned how to reduce scope without breaking identity, how to adjust intensity without interrupting continuity. Not heroic effort, not permanent high performance. Instead, calibrated continuity. Adaptive consistency training, or ACT, comes down to two ideas working together: a standard you commit to for 84 days, and a flexible way to show up each day without breaking your constancy of purpose. You live the standard, you measure the results, you adapt as necessary for the next one. And inside the days, you crawl, walk, run, or fly. Whatever keeps you moving in the direction you've chosen while staying aligned with the person you're becoming. It's a simple practice exercising the meta skill of consistency. When you are ready to exercise consistency and become the person who follows through, start your day one inside the ACT Score Challenge. Stack the days and practice the reps that reshape your identity. That's it for today. Catch you next time.